What's up, everybody? This is the Unscripted Sports Show. I'm your host, Eric. This is the College Football Week 2 predictions and best bets. We'll go over the game from last week and then do my best bets. Let's get started. Oh, before I do that, I'll do the plugs. Listen to Wrestling Through the Years on youtube.com/Wrestling Through the Years. This week we'll be doing Raw 2005 Homecoming back to the USA Network. Ironically, they're leaving USA Network at the end of the year, so this is kind of perfect timing. Almost 20 years after they came back, they're leaving, going to Netflix, and SmackDown is making their USA debut on this Friday on USA Network at 8 o'clock for 3 hours. It should be a fantastic show. It's going to be a loaded show. They probably have some major surprises and all that. So check that out. Check us out on Saturdays. Myself and Doug for the um, When Tunes Combine cartoons. When Doug writes a script for two or more cartoons and talks about it, we talk about that. I forgot what we're doing this week, but we'll get back. We'll announce it on Friday. Then Stabcast with Mindy and Daniel on Sundays, and then Sunday mornings with Daniel and Bobby for the roll down, and then myself and my brother Evan Clem is available for the Unscripted Sports Show, NFL, uh, probably every Wednesday. We'll be shooting for every Wednesday, and then the college football one, either Tuesday or Wednesday. That one's pre-recorded, and the NFL one is live. So check that out, and let's recap last week. Last week I went 7-4. I mistakenly picked 11 games instead of 10, so we'll still count that. First game I picked was BYU and SMU. I picked SMU, stupidly enough, and BYU won 18-15. Right? Yeah, 18-15. I didn't watch the game. I was watching NFL. So yeah, SMU lost at home to BYU 18-15. Next game I had on that same night, Northwestern and Duke. I had Northwestern. Duke came back and won 27-20 in overtime. I think it was double overtime. Yeah, double overtime. And then Texas and Michigan. I had Texas, and Texas won. This was a dominant performance by Texas. Michigan just doesn't have the offense right now. They're still a good team on defense. They still have an elite defense. But Texas is just far apart from. They're far better than Michigan right at this point. Yes, Michigan is the defending champion, but they just don't have anybody on offense besides Edwards, and their quarterback play right now is subpar. Will probably get better during the season, and if they get another quarterback and recruiting. So Michigan will be back. They'll still have a good record, probably 8-4, 9-3, but they're not. I don't see them making the playoffs. So yeah, Texas won 31-12. They dominated that game. Oklahoma State and Arkansas. I watched this game, and this game was pissing me off so much because Oklahoma State sucked most of the game. They came through and somehow won and covered. If you had 8.5, no, if you had 7.5, they covered. If you had 8.5, you were doomed. So I had them in the parlay for 6.5, but the parlay died because another game I picked died or sucked. Oklahoma State won 39-31 in overtime. Yeah, they probably didn't deserve to win the game, but they sucked. The quarterback play sucked. The defense sucked. They couldn't tackle anybody. Every time Arkansas was third and long, they gave up a pass, and yeah, Arkansas just dropped the ball too many times. They turned the ball over a couple times, and they gave up a punt return, I think, for a touchdown or a kick return. I forget what it was. It was an INT. It was a pick six for a touchdown. That's right. And then K State and Tulane, another game that kind of pissed me off because Tulane was winning this game. But I did have a feeling Tulane would cover this game, and they did. Tulane is a pretty good team, and they have a pretty good quarterback over there. K State struggled in the road, but they found a way to win. K State is a pretty good team. So, yeah, they won 34-27 in a thriller. Syracuse and Georgia Tech. I gave up. I knew Syracuse would win this game. Georgia Tech was ranked for the first time on the road, 2-0, and Syracuse at home. Conference game. I like Syracuse, so Syracuse won 31-28. Iowa State and Iowa, the Battle of Iowa. Iowa was winning this game for the most part, and then Iowa State came back. Iowa can't score, and they won 2019. And the over hit. Most of the time, you take the under for Iowa games, and I still stand by that. It's still a good bet. It was a bad beat because Iowa sucked. Now, the game that surprised me was South Carolina and Kentucky. Kentucky lost 31-6 at home. South Carolina looked real good. Their defense is good. South Carolina dominated this game from start to finish. Kentucky couldn't couldn't find a rhythm offense. So yeah, they sucked. Nebraska and Colorado. This was my lock of the week. I would have put 50 units on this if I could. Colorado lost to Nebraska in Lincoln, Nebraska at night. It was a revenge game. Colorado isn't as good as people think. Sanders is as good coach as everybody thinks. He's a good coach, but not this elite coach. And Nebraska had this game circled for a year. This was a revenge game. They lost to Colorado last year in a blowout. They were waiting for this game for over a year, especially those fans. This is a rivalry game. Yeah, so this was almost my lock of the year, but too early to give up lock of the year. Clemson and App State. I thought this was going to be a closer game because App State is always competitive against these teams, but Clemson just dominated this game from start to finish. They were up 56-0, I think, at halftime. They won 66-20. This game was over after the first quarter. In Oregon, Boise State. This was a good game. I thought Boise State would cover because Boise State, Oregon's still is coming out slow. Start the season. They're one of those teams that will probably get better throughout the season. Oh, I know they will. Because they're my national championship pick. So, yeah. Boise State looked good. The running back, Jeffrey, I think is his name. He's an elite running back. Boise State could be a surprise team. They might make the playoffs at that 12th seed. But yeah, that wraps it up for those week 1 picks because there was week 0, so that's why this is week 2. So yeah, this is week 2. I have it listed as week 3, so I have to change that. It's technically week 3, but it's week 2. If you're listening, although I didn't that, but yeah, so I went 7-4, and I am 15-9. On my best bets, I am two two and one of my money play best bet, and 2-3, 5-5 on my best bets. So sorry, 5-5 on best bets, and 2-1 in the money play best bets. So that's money play best bets is my best bet of the week. So we'll get to that after I do these picks. So the first game I picked out is Arizona State and Texas Tech. Arizona State is minus 1.5 point favorite on the road against Texas Tech. Texas Tech plus 105 on the money line. Over under 59.5. These lines could have changed. I put this in yesterday. I was gonna do the show last night, but I fell asleep. No, I didn't have a chance to do it. So both teams come in at 2-0, and I like Texas Tech to win 27-24 and upset in this game tomorrow night. It's a long game tomorrow on television on ESPN. They're going up against the Bills and Dolphins, but they're on Prime. So yeah, and then Friday night, I got Friday night. Wait, wrong one. Yeah, is this the right one? Yep. UNLV at Kansas. UNLV is 2-0 plus 220 on the money line. Kansas 1-1 -7. I think the line might have changed. 58.5. 7 o'clock on ESPN. I got Kansas winning 31-21 and covering the spread. And the under hits. So next game, Arizona. Next game I have is also in Kansas, but this is Kansas State. Arizona, number 20 Arizona, 2-0 versus number 14 Kansas State, 2-0. Both teams 2-0. Kansas State is 7.5 point favorite. That line might have changed too. I wouldn't be surprised that dropped to 6.5 by game. That's off. Arizona is plus 240 on the money line. This game's on Fox. Over under 58.5. And this game's at 8 p.m. There's two games in Kansas tomorrow. Kansas and Kansas State both play an hour apart. One on Fox, one on ESPN. And both totals are about the same. I got K-State winning 34-31. Arizona covering. I like this. I think this is one of my best bets I'll give out later. Next game. Tulsa and Oklahoma State. In-state rival. I think this means more to Tulsa. Number 13, Oklahoma State comes into Tulsa, Oklahoma. This game's at 12 p.m. on ESPN2 on Saturday. Tulsa is plus 750 on the money line, and Oklahoma State is minus 20. As you can see, I got Tulsa winning in an upset. I was impressed with Oklahoma State. I think this game means more to Tulsa. Minus 20 at home. Plus 20 at home. Give me the dog. That's too much for a rivalry game, especially when the home team is a dog. And this game means a little more to Tulsa because in this case they're the little brother to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is the big brother now in the Big 12. Tulsa's not in the Big 12, but they should be. Maybe in the future. But yeah. I got Tulsa winning 31-27. Obviously covering the spread and the money line. And we'll have it going over. The over under is 62.5. I have it going under. Yeah, this is one of my upsets of the day for on Saturday. Tulsa sprinkle that on the money line, 750. Yeah, I'll put a unit or two on that. I might regret it, but Oklahoma State might blow them out. But I see Tulsa winning. So I wasn't impressed with Oklahoma State. Next game, South Carolina, number 16, LSU, 1-1 at South Carolina, 2-0. Talked about it earlier. South Carolina went to Kentucky and crushed them. I like their defense. LSU is -7. South Carolina is +220 on the money line. So, find a way to look at this without looking down. And then, as you can see, I have South Carolina win 38-35. Over under is 50. So I have that going over. I have this as a high scoring game. I think South Carolina can win, especially at home. It really impressed me by beating Kentucky the way they did. So I have South Carolina winning. My second upset of the day. That might be a theme of the day. Next one is Oregon State, in-state rival. This is usually at the end of the season, but since Oregon moved to the Big Ten, they moved this game to week 3, which is stupid. It should be at the end of the game, at the end of the year. This is a rivalry game. Oregon State's going to get up for this game, but Oregon's going to be too much. I think this is where Oregon comes out, and this is their coming out party this week. First 2 weeks they came out slow. Last week they started showing signs of promise as a national title contender. It's one of the best teams in college football. So I think they win 48-24. They cover the spread. Spread is 16. Over under is 50.5. I think this goes over. I think Oregon wins pretty easily. I think they were waiting for this game. Another rivalry game. Washington State at Washington. Another game that should be at the end of the season that was moved to the week 3 because Washington moved to the Big Ten. So leaving Oregon State and Washington State by themselves in the Pac-2. I have Washington winning 24-14. They are 4.5-point favorite. Washington State is +165 in the money line. So I have Washington winning 24-14. Another rivalry game. Yeah, that's the theme of this show. I have some rivalry games here. Next rivalry game. The backyard. Oh, I didn't even show that. Oregon State. I was talking and I forgot to show that. Next game is the backyard brawl. Yeah, I forgot to show that too. Yeah, so I kept talking and I forgot to do that. Yeah, I think the Washington State game is going to be close. Washington's not the same team as last year, just like Michigan. They lost a lot of players. So I wouldn't be surprised if even Washington State won. The name was won last year. The next game is the backyard brawl. This game is Pittsburgh and West Virginia from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, PA. West Virginia is a 3-point favorite. Pittsburgh is +125 on the money line. Over under is 50.5. This game is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time at ESPN2. I like West Virginia to win and cover 21-17. I think it's going to be a good game. Good, hard-nosed defensive game. West Virginia pulls it out at the end, wins 21-17. Probably scores a late touchdown. So, yeah, I have West Virginia winning 21-17. Covering the spread. Next game is another rivalry game. What do you know? Another in-state rivalry. Colorado State. At Colorado State, this game last year was pretty awesome. Colorado State gave them a run for their money. I think Colorado pulled away, if I'm not mistaken. I have Colorado. Let's see. Colorado is a 7-point favorite. Colorado State plus 230 on the money line. Remember, these lines could have changed since yesterday. It's only Wednesday, so. And the over-under is 58.5. This game is on Saturday, 7:30 Eastern Time on CBS. Game's gonna be good. I can't wait for this game. I hate Colorado so much. I mean, I wouldn't say hate them so much. It's just that his head coach. I'm not a fan of Deion Sanders. Wasn't a fan of it when he was playing, so I'm not a fan of. I think he's still a good coach, but I think Colorado's. I've been saying since last year they're overhyped, overrated, or whatever you want to take that from. That's just my opinion. I think Colorado State wins. They're at home. They win a hard-fought game, 34-27. Colorado State pulled it out. I know Colorado State looked awful against Texas, got shut out, but they're gonna get red. They're gonna be pumped for this game. Head coaches beef. I mean, they don't have personal beef, but they have like on-field beef. Last year, I think Colorado State is gonna be pumped for this game. They've been just like last week. Nebraska had this game circled. Colorado State has this game circled for a year. This is another tough game for Colorado, going on road in a hostile environment at night. Man, they didn't do them any good by putting Nebraska and Colorado State, their two biggest rivals, back to back on the road at night when both teams are waiting for this game, just like last week. But I think Colorado keeps this one close. Let's sprinkle that on the money line at plus 230. I think this spread should be 4, but what do I know? In the last game is TCU and UCF. Both teams are 2-0. Spread is UCF is minus 2-point favorites on the road. TCU plus 110 on the money line. Over under 61.5. 7:30 on Fox on Saturday night. TCU. I got TCU winning 33-31. Late field goal at the end, covering the spread, covering the money, and winning the money line. So yeah, that's all the picks I have. Now the best bets. Friday's best bet. I have 2 of them. I have K-State minus 7. UNLV in Arizona. Wait, hold on. Okay. I have Kansas covering the spread minus 7 against UNLV. I have Arizona covering the spread against Kansas State plus 7.5. Both on ESPN bets. I think those lines have changed. They both could be 7.5. It's only Wednesday again. So yeah. And then my best bet for Saturday, one of my best bets. The over 58.5. Over 58.5 in the Colorado State game on ESPN bet. Minus 110. And then my money play best bet is TCU winning plus 110 on the money line against UCF. money play of the day of the week 3. And once again, here's my records. And that's it. Enjoy week 3. This is Money E out. Later.